Hello, good to have you on the program this day, and of course it still remains the Polity, the program within which we discuss things that have to do with current affairs in the political world. Of course, you know, they say that man is a political animal, and so as a result of that, it becomes normal, it becomes natural for us to talk about these things even on a daily basis, because that is one thing you could even refer to as a kind of fuel that runs in every man, that makes us be what we are. Talk, discuss, and above all else, look out for the areas that will bring forth the best in every man. And of course, politics is supposed to be in the best interest of everybody. That is what it should be. But if it is not so, or if it is yet to become so in Nigeria, we'll find out. And as a result of that too, at a time like this, there is something that has been on. Everybody's been talking about it most recently on the political scene. And some people who forgot that grammar had to bring it back again, had to rethink and get to remember it again. And that thing is what they call coalition. Yes, we're going to talk about it this day on the program. But of course, I am not alone. Okechukwu here, of course. And I've got people with whom to discuss. I've got someone that is, I would say, very special. Why I say very special is that by the time I finish mentioning his name and things about him, you will agree with me that he is a special guest on the program this day, because he's been around the political happenings of this country for quite a long time, and we were able to get him here even to talk with us on the program today. I'm talking about Dr. Hakeem Baba Ahmed. Of course, we all remember most recently that he resigned as special advisor to the president in the office of the vice president. And even before then, he had been the spokesman. I don't know whether he still remains, but he will tell us at the end of the day, the spokesman of the Northern Elders Forum. And a lot. He is a teacher in, of course, a higher level. We'll also talk about that. And he had also been involved in the INEC. I remember one time someone, Helm's person in INEC, as far as politics is concerned in Nigeria. So every side of politics you bring, you'll be sure to know that he will tell you something meaningful. Today, we want to say welcome to Dr. Ahmed. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me to your station.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I've also got Sam Praise Itomo. Sam Praise happens to be a public affairs analyst. He handles it both physically and spiritually. That's why sometimes we look for him, because he will tell you the way it is from the physical aspect, and then think about the spiritual sense of it, because he also is involved in spiritual matters. He is also an entrepreneur. He does business, and he has a whole lot of things in his package. But today, we got him here to talk business, to talk politics with us. And so we say, welcome to Sam Praise Itomo.
Thank you, wonderful audience. Thank you, Okechukwu.
Right. We also have someone else that will come in, will bring in on the program. I must say that I need to tender apologies to Dr. Baba Ahmed, because of the fact that he didn't get to know about all these fellows that will be here, as we talked about. But then we also know that there are things that will come in. We'll need to take it head on. And that's what has happened today. Coalition has been so strong. And so on the other platform that's talking about Zoom, coming in via Zoom, we have Dr. Kach Ononuju. Dr. Kach Ononuju is an economist, but then, of course, a strong politician too, who understands when you talk about political matters in this country. And he will tell us his own side when we talk about this coalition. And of course, it's of course as a topic for the day is, it all has to do with coalition. Coalition all through the way. Thinking about the way to 2027. We expect to see the title of that program right now, and so you get to see it and know it's towards 2027. And so that's it. We work that way. let me again say, as it gathers momentum, talking about this coalition movement and rearrangement and all that, we have the APC, we have the PDP, the two major, let me say that, the two major parties, political parties in Nigeria. But there are so many other political parties, of course, but these are the two major ones that everyone has been talking about. Incidentally, PDP is the one that seems to have been hit the most when it comes to this talk about the coalition, because of the fact that the one helmsman of the PDP seems to be the one also leading the affairs talking about this coalition. I'm talking about Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president of Nigeria. And so he has come with his weight, bringing so many people who are on the same page with him into the coalition. And we want to find out even much more how far they can go. We also incidentally saw some other people who are not members of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, talking about the former governor of Edo State and one-time national chairman of the APC. We saw him there, John Oyegun Odikie, of course, and someone has described him as the Baba of politics, and that he was involved and he was seen at the gathering. So many things happened. We saw many other people there, some people that we had even forgotten about them for a while, but then we didn't know they are still there strong, and until the meeting that they had, and that was where David Mark Senator was made the chairman of the, emerged as the chairman of the coalition ADC, and Senator as well, the former governor Rauf Aregbesola came out as the national secretary. And someone asked me, does it mean that Mosu is no longer there? And I said, well, Mosu resigned a day ahead of it, so as to make way for these other fellows to come in and do what they know best. Well, we'll talk about all that. And let me say again that right in here, we've got these gentlemen here, and we have Kachan Onuju. Can we just see Kachan Onuju as he says good afternoon to everyone? Okay. Okay. So when you're ready, you let us know. But till then, let's face the people that we have in here. Dr. Baba Ahmed, it's a pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you.
Coalition, that's the thing that is everywhere now. Tell us a bit of what you think about it, because we have some time to share with you.
Well, it's a work in progress.
Okay, sir.
Strictly speaking, this is not a coalition of parties. It's a coalition of politicians.
Okay.
A coalition properly defined suggests that a number of parties have come together. They have met certain legal and organizational criteria.
Yes.
And there are now many parties in one. These are politicians who have established, who decided to come into one party. They could become a coalition if more parties join them. There are different types of relationship. You can have an alliance, you can have a coalition, you can have a merger. What we have now is a coalition of politicians. Many of them are very notable politicians with a lot of weight.
Yes.
Now, whether they will transform into a formidable political party remains to be seen.
Okay.
They have a lot of internal problems, but there's also a lot of promise. What is important is that Nigerians are yearning for strong opposition that will challenge this administration, either to improve the way it's running this country or to be defeated in 2027.
Okay.
But we'll have to wait. There's a long way to go between now and 2027. You don't know whether this coalition will hold. You don't know whether it will expand or restrict. You don't know what kind of problems it will have in other parties, in PDP, in Labour Party. You don't know whether the politicians who have formed it, walked into the party, will find some common ground, whether they will disagree, whether some will swallow their own ambitions. There are a lot of issues. So it's a work in progress. Let's wait and see how it goes.
Okay, let's wait and see how it goes. There are also, just as he mentioned, there are some other political bigwigs that were there, including Peter Obi, of course, of the Labour Party, that got in there. and some people were surprised to see him. Incidentally, of course, some other strong members of the Labour Party came along with him, and someone was saying that there is need to streamline matters, affairs, and to show the world exactly what. But then, just as Doc here has said, it's just the beginning. You can't see everything at the very start. It's as it goes on, then you know which way it should go, and that way you understand better. But from what he has said, there could be a political party that will come forward out of it, and there may not be. There could be an alliance of political parties, and there could be still just a merger. So it depends. As time goes on, we'll get to see. As I said, that I have another guest in here. I'm talking about Sam Praise. Sam Praise, I want to ask you, looking at the way it is now, this coalition, the way you've seen coalition going on, incidentally, Peter Obi, as I mentioned, is there. How do you see it?
Thank you so much. My first thoughts when I see the development, I was thinking it's only the commoners out there that are feeling the heat of the bad governance, ongoing. But by the time I see the agitation of these big wigs politically coming together, with most of them, if you hear their statements, is really, really detrimental to the government of the day. And surprisingly, some of them, like Erufai, these were the people that were standing with Tinubu, and then, suddenly it's like they fell out, like my elder man said here, Baba, he said his interest, most of them are running for interest. So, like he said, for instance, now they are coming together and they are making their bogus statements and what have you. Let's wait until their primary. In the primary, whoever emerges as flag bearer, that is where you begin to see the, fiasco, the battles. And those who the thing doesn't favor them,
they will need to go away.
So, but to me, in a very straight-jacketed program, I think the coalition is very, very interesting.
Okay.
Because if they can force this administration to deliver dividends, or else get them out of power and give us a better Nigeria.
Well, we'll wait and see. Erufai, yes, Erufai happens to be someone that came from the APC,
yes.
And Amechi, former governor of
River State
under PDP, later went to APC, so we don't even know whether he's coming from APC or he's coming from
APC, because during Buhari he was throughout APC. Of course,
yes, we all know he even contested for the presidency, along with the current president. Yes. So there are people like that who have come in and we have heard and seen, and surprisingly too, David Mark also was seen effectively there, and even eventually becoming the chairman, just as I mentioned, that also had to resign for better things to happen. Now, looking at the way all these have happened, I've also been told, I've also heard, I've also read that the ADC that we're talking about now, that they have gone into, though it's yet to be everything is yet to be concluded. The ADC in the north has already started taking hold of some PDP properties, as though PDP is metamorphosing into ADC. And they said the north. So I would want to ask Dr. Baba to tell us about this, because this is something that happens in the north. It has happened in the north. What do you think, sir, that the PDP is doing at a time like this? Is it official? Is it real? Can it be that that the PDP is being brought into ADC, and maybe do you see the death of PDP? Or is it that there could be a shake-up in PDP at the end of the day? Something will still come out. There will still be a PDP somewhere. What do you think, sir?
Well, this morning I read about ADC people taking over PDP property and offices, like you did.
Yes.
I don't know how true that is, but one would expect that many members of the PDP would move into ADC. I'm talking about members.
Yes, sir.
We don't know how PDP, the ramp of PDP, those, let me remind you, a huge part of PDP is still PDP.
Yes.
All their governors are PDP. What you have from PDP in ADC now is Vice President Atiku, and I think the current chairman of ADC now, David
Mark.
Those are the two PDP people. There are big wigs, big party people from PDP who would move and leave the party for Wike. Would they stay and do some damage control and try to keep the party going? As we speak, PDP is the second largest party in this country. I'm not terribly convinced that they will all hands off and allow ADC people to come and take over the party. There's going to be, as I said in my earlier response, there's a lot of way to go. Is PDP going to die? Because a combination of Atiku leaving, Wike's damage within the PDP, will that kill PDP? Will there be a lot of resistance from PDP people who would say, no, we're not going to ADC and we're going to stay and fight Wike, whose job appears to be to kill whatever is left of the party. Again, you don't know this. There are a lot of speculations. What I do know is that the huge amount of influence and power is still vested in the existing PDP. It's been damaged, certainly. It's been crippled by defections and internal issues. But there is still PDP. And I think it's too early to start speculating whether the whole of PDP will follow Vice President Atiku or some PDP people will follow him, and PDP will regroup, build itself or rebuild itself as the number 2 party in this country. But I'll be wary about reports that indicate that everything is collapsing from PDP, because I know a lot of PDP people who have said in the last 3 days, we're staying put. We're not going to ADC. We're going to stay and fight it out. This is our party. We built it. We sacrificed for it. So I think the best thing to do here is not to be hasty in passing judgments.
Okay. Again, this party, the NNPP, I remember that some members made it public that they would want their former presidential candidate, Kwankwaso, to join the coalition. They would not have him say anything yet, but now that they brought it forth, and of course, Labour Party, the other group is saying that Peter Obi has no right to go for that, of course, which is neither here nor there, because they are not the ones that should tell him, since their faction is yet to be effectively recognized or accepted. And Peter Obi has also made it clear that he still belongs to the Labour Party. But then, apart from all this, Peter Obi himself said that he is not coming to coalition, into
As
the coalition to become
Number 2.
VP, number 2, that he is going there to become the presidential candidate or nothing. Do you see it? Do you see it? How can we handle this? Do you see it coming that that someone like Atiku would hand over to Peter Obi and let him go on while they themselves will give him their support, and the other leaders, all of them? Do you think it can ever happen in this country that such a thing can happen right now? The political matters are what you cannot predict, but then you also make some basic meaningful predictions if you have an idea of how it goes, and we know you have an idea of how it goes. You
can predict them.
Yes.
Some you can predict.
Yes.
And I have said many times before that this I'm reluctant to use the word coalition, because what is happening is not a coalition. Okay, if it is a coalition, it is a coalition of politicians.
Yes, coalition of politicians, not of
there's
parties.
a different coalition of parties. So a number of big politicians have moved into a new party. Some have moved entirely, some have one foot in their original parties and one foot in the new party. One of them is Obi. And I have written extensively on this, and I have said one of the challenges that this coalition, this gathering will face is managing ambitions. I also said Peter Obi will not become president on the basis of on the platform of Labour Party alone. And he will not be number 2 to anybody.
Yes.
I said this weeks ago, and it is looking like that.
Yes, it's
now remember, Amici has also indicated some interest in running. We are hearing today, I read in one of the papers today that Vice President Atiku wants to run. This is one of the challenges that will face this gathering. And people are watching very closely. Is this going to be a move that will be truncated and destroyed by the ambitions of the people who founded it, and therefore it's a no-go issue from day one?
Okay.
Or can they find a way in which they can resolve all these issues? Now, I gave my suggestions.
Yeah.
I don't think any of these people should put himself forward for presidency. I think all of them should collaborate, stand down their presidential ambitions, and bring younger, more energetic, less burdened Nigerians with issues, and give them a chance. Let them be mentors. Let them be the forces behind the new Nigerian. And this solves the problem. But so long as you're going to have 2 or 3 of them saying, no, it's me, no, it's me, no, it's me, then I doubt if this party will take off. And the solution really is, if you are genuinely concerned about giving Nigeria a new lease of life, solving its problems of integration, poverty, insecurity, economic, then none of you should aspire to lead. None of you. But telling a politician not to aspire to lead, no matter what limitations and liabilities they have, is like abusing them. Now, I'm not exactly the most popular person in certain circles, because I've said this before. That I don't think any of these 6 or 7, if they want to be taken seriously, should be the people who would say, the 6 of you should support me. The moment you do that, 2 problems happen. Nigerians lose faith in you, in the whole organization, and you begin to fight with your colleagues in the party.
Yes.
I'm not sure that this is what Nigerians want.
No,
we want an opposition, we want a strong opposition, we want to unite people, but we want new faces trying to discover what the new Nigeria should look like. We want unity. And these politicians are all spent. They have a lot to offer, but they should not be the people who should say, give me power. They should look for the kind of people that we can trust.
Okay.
Younger people, more energetic people, more people without the burden of their past.
And who would have baggage.
Yes.
Okay. Sam.
Yes.
I just wanted to make your contribution here before I ask Doctor another question that's very strong in my heart to bring forth on this program.
Thank you. I first of all commend his, his viewpoint. For instance, a lot of intelligent minds that actually want the future of Nigeria, we have that same opinion that this merger or coalition, whatever name they call it, should have been for mentorship, to introduce the younger generation that still have what to give. They have been stampeded and oppressed, and then you are dishing down, bringing them up as fathers. For instance, as you mentioned, if P2B will, submit to another person, if you check, he already made a statement that this thing is about a matter of interest. P2B from ABGA originally, migrated to PDP, migrated to Labour, now ADC. So it's all about the interest of I want to be. So also people like Atiku, most of them have been cross-carpeting, rigorously just like that because of interest. But I wish they will come to terms with the suffering masses of Nigeria, that we are tired of these same faces, and we need a new Nigeria, for crying out loud. So okay, can be a father to us. Bring up the youth. Like most of them, people like General Gowon Obasanjo, this was 27 years, you're already president, 30-something years, you're already president. We need such a thing again.
Oh, I wonder when such a thing will happen again in
My
this country. Because that time we had it, I've not seen it anymore. It's just like when the old Anambra State was split, and we started seeing very young people vying for positions in Enugu State, and seeing all the old people still vying for it in the new Anambra. And what I said then was, well, when you were together, you were the ones in charge. Now that you have split, the small boys are the ones here, and that's why they are now doing this.
People like
so
no to them.
Yeah, and I
don't know that you bring coming up in Enugu.
So I don't know. Can Nigeria be split for us to have such a thing? It may be difficult. Now, let me ask you, Dr. Akin Baba Ahmed, please. The other day I heard your brother, Dr. Deti Baba Ahmed, saying something. He said that he would advise Peter Obi, his colleague, saying that his principal then, that it would be good for him, that he will suggest 3 names for him to pick one out of them as the vice presidential candidate if he emerges as
the flag bearer,
the coalition flag bearer. And I said, oh, this is a wonderful spirit. He's not even talking about himself any longer. He's just suggesting these other names, because people were saying, would he come with him again and all that. I said, this is a wonderful spirit. What kind of heart is it that this man has? That's the kind of thing that's happening now, because in APC, there's the talk that the current vice president may not be the one. And some people started doubting somebody else, trying to bring forth the former Speaker of the
Dogara.
Yes, Dogara. Yes. And I laughed. I said, well, everybody has his own way of doing one thing or the other. But he just came out in a beautiful way and made everybody that was thinking no longer to think. Such Nigerians, such a Nigerian, we need to commend him. That's in the first place. And I know you are in the good position to help me commend him and tell him that we are grateful for that kind of heart that he has. Yes. And then we will also say, if it happens that Peter Obi becomes, he is suggesting El-Rufai and another, El-Rufai, your brother, and another of the 2 other people from the north. Do you think people like El-Rufai would accept the position of being vice president under Peter Obi if it works?
I really don't know. Regarding the first point you made, this is exactly what my younger brother Deti said about self-sacrifice is what we're looking for.
Wow.
The politicians need to understand this country will survive without you.
That's right.
And you're not the only person who can offer leadership. And there are many, many good people who cannot come into the political arena simply because those who have been there all this time think this is virtually our property. This country is captive to a very small clique of people.
Yes.
We are captives.
That's true, sir.
What we need is fresh faces, fresh blood, people with fresh perspectives. We don't want people who have been part of a government, who may have committed huge amounts of corrupt acts.
Sacrilege.
Some of them even have cases. They have cases before courts. For goodness' sake, what is wrong with playing the father? What is wrong with mentoring young Nigerians? What's wrong with encouraging younger Nigerians to step forward, assume responsibility for their own future? Because we're finished. Ours is finished. They are going to have to work to rebuild this country.
Yes, a whole lot
and
too.
So it really is a very important thing. What Deti said, somehow I missed it. But if he said if Peter Obi becomes VP, he is not going to be one of those 3. Is that what you're saying?
No. He's saying that if Peter Obi becomes the presidential candidate, he suggested some people who have
the idea that you can actually recognize the fact that other people can also play a role, maybe even better than you.
Yes,
it's a very good thing. We need to think outside the box. We need a new vision. We need new blood. We need new focus. We need new energies to drive the Nigerian political process forward. As it is now, you look into all the parties. It's the same old people you've seen in the last 50 years. And look at the problems we have. They are the same problems that you've seen in the last 20 years. Now, if you are doing something over and over and over and over, and you are getting the same result, clearly you need to change.
Yes, you need to change.
We need to change. We need to change the personnel. We need to change our perspective. Why is it impossible to defeat insecurity in this country? This is not how my generation grew up. Why is it impossible to turn around the levels of poverty that we've been witnessing in the last 15, 16 years? My days, it wasn't this bad. Why is it difficult to find things that young people can believe about Nigeria and be proud to be Nigerian?
Happy for once.
And live in this country and feel they're part of it? Why? It's simply because there are people who believe politics is for them. It must be them or nobody else. And they will fight. They will use faith. They will use ethnicity. They use everything. They will say, if you are from this part of this country, you cannot be good enough. Who says so? Who says so? God created this nation of 250 million people. Are you saying that only a tiny part of the country can produce people who can lead this country? Nobody else can lead this country unless he or she comes from that particular part of the country. Do you understand how much we are shortchanging ourselves?
It's a serious matter.
You reduce, no Christian can become a president because a Muslim was the president, fanaticism. Or no Christian should become a Muslim because the last one was a Muslim, for goodness sake. In a country that is secular and the constitution is secular, how on earth do you justify this? And they're coming back with the same old thing. I think the real challenge for 2027 is not, the contest is not between politicians in APC and the coalition or whatever. The contest is between Nigerians deciding whether they want the same thing to continue or they want to change it.
We will talk about PDP a little while. And a lot of people, not just you, not just me or Sam, are seeing the thing the minister of the FCT is saying, and we all have heard, and some people begin to ask, does he mean well for Nigeria in the first place, or it's just that he wants to destroy the party he claims to have joined to build? Remember, he said the other time that he has fought so hard to keep this party together.
Which party?
PDP. That was
Atiku?
No, I mean Wike. That was before the last presidential election. But since after then, we have seen that it looks as though he is also now fighting so hard to bring it down. And so people are asking, what is it that is happening? That's number one. Then number two is that looking at his stand, I remember that I heard him say that when they asked him whether he was about trying to join the APC, and he said that it was never going to happen, and that he mentioned something has to do with malaria or something like that, that someone that will join APC is like having malaria, you know. But today he is working for the president, who is APC, and asking, the last time the president was talking, he made it in passing that he should declare his stand. Let's know where he is, so as to know what to give him the more. Do you see him as someone that will eventually abandon ship and move over to APC so as to continue to get the goodies of the government? Or would he be bold enough to stand to say, no, I want to fight to ensure that PDP remains a strong party opposition in the opposition in the country today? Let's look at it. You first. Let me ask you before I come to Dr. Ahmed. Yes.
Far before, you know, like Jesus made a statement, say, by their fruit you shall know them. So you may not identify a tree when it's growing up, but when you see the fruiting, you can tell this is orange or mango orange, or something, if you are not an agriculturist. So right from what we saw Wike did in Rivers State, during this last presidential election, we already saw the fruit of APC manifesting in him, because number one, you saw him as a dribbler, you saw him as an unstable person. It's just that, okay, so there's no way I can be working with you, being a leader as a like president now, and I'm looking for favor from your hand. There's no way I can be working with you and I will not do your bidding. And what you are coming out for instance, Tinubu came out with APC manifesto. He's even the one, the father, the formation, the father, the root of APC is Tinubu. So now, by Tinubu drawing close, from what we saw in Rivers State, we already know that Wike is already an APC personnel. It's just that he's deceiving those that are gullible. So now, in the present political setting, you see him also scattering and disintegrating PDP that build him up. Even though he's claiming he has labored so much in PDP. His PDP is private business, or just like the question people are asking, is Rivers State you are private, or you inherited it from your father's house? People have been there before you, and now you want to play the Jagaban, the emperor of Rivers State. And so if you are not getting your interest, you are scattering the state, not even minding what people are suffering. I had a lot of testimony from Rivers State during that, just about 4 or 5 months Fubara entered there. He was making things happen, paying civil servants. Okay, the lump sum money that's supposed to go to godfatherism is what was missing. That was what, stage manages emperonic, oppression of the people of the Rivers State, that even the father of VK is now, downplaying the interests of River people and subdue them to this military program. You get? So all these things because of Wike's instability and Maradona drive and what have you.
Okay, let me ask Doc about this before we move to asking people to tell us what they feel about what we're talking about today. Sir, you heard me, sir. Do you see this party as still something that will still stand with the activities, the PDP, with the activities of Wike at a time like this?
Yeah, depends on those who are left to salvage PDP,
yes.
After President Atiku leaves. I think that it's a party that deserves to be salvaged. I think they've been very very careless in terms of dealing with Wike right from day one. They should have gotten rid of him one way or the other. They should never have allowed him to be what he is today. He serves only one purpose: to destroy PDP, and he's doing a very good job for it for APC. He doesn't need to join APC.
Simple.
He can stay in PDP and continue doing what he's doing. I blame the leadership of the PDP for having allowed him to dig this much deep. The best asset of APC is Minister Wike. He's from PDP,
yes.
Destroying PDP,
yes.
for them. And PDP people have been watching and watching. There were many things they could have done a long time ago, but they took him for granted. This is a man with a grievance. He failed to get the ticket, started waging a war on his own father's house.
Yes. And
the fire is eating, and other people in the house are just watching what is going on. If you are looking for evidence, a PDP is weak. You cannot find a weakness, evidence stronger than that. Now, the question is whether PDP can fight this single wrecking crew, one-man wrecking crew, that is Wike, or whether they will succumb. Atiku is gone. Wike has more space now for
yes, he has more space, yes.
And those of them who are saying, no, we'll stay and fight, we have to ask them, fight who and with what? Can you fight Wike? Why couldn't you fight him when he started becoming a problem?
Yes.
I think PDP has a very deep problem, but Wike is one of them. And it will be even more of a problem. He has huge sources of patronage and transaction. He can dispense a lot of favors to people, and he can continue to encourage this flooding into the APC. And he doesn't need to change his party at all.
Okay. Thank you so much. We're still here, and the program still remains the Polity. We will return in a while. We'll just take a break. I will remind you, dear viewer, that there is an opportunity for you to make a call and let us know what you feel about what we're discussing. As always on this program, that's what we do. And we'll still continue. Oh, good to have you back again. It's still on the program, The Polity, and of course it's on the Kaftan Television, King Adewale Film and Theatre Arts Network, Kaftan Television. Okay, now we want to find out some more. But then I did say that by the time we return, we will start taking in some calls from our viewers. And of course, you, dear viewer, you are very special to us. That's why we have always said that this program is a program for the people. So that wherever you are, from there, you can make your contribution. And so we'll expect your calls from now. And it will be 080-299-38365. 080-299-38365. We'll be waiting as we go on our discussion. Awusko. Awusko, I said to call immediately. Okay, let's take it from here, Awusko from Kaduna.
Sharp caller.
Yes. Hello, Awusko.
Good afternoon, gentlemen in the studio.
Good afternoon, Awusko.
Good afternoon.
I greet you all. I want to ask Akim Baba Ahmed. He has been in the INEC and he has worked here. And why is it that we don't have confidence in INEC? Why is it that INEC to give us a credible election in Nigeria, devoid of controversies of rigging and all that? And in the my second question is also Atiku Abubakar and all other aspirants are northerners. Buhari just held the government for 8 years. Now is the turn of the southerners. Why is it that still Atiku Abubakar, El-Rufai and all these people are still rearing their head? Why wouldn't they allow other parts of Nigeria to rule? Thank you very much.
Oh, well, why would they allow other parts of Nigeria to rule? That's a question. And you're asking also about INEC, since we have someone that's been part of INEC effectively. So, sir, it's for you to give us something about
Actually, he's asking me why we have consistently bad elections. And it's not a question I can answer. I can only account for when I was there. I was secretary of INEC in 1982-83. We conducted the 2003 elections, and I can tell you one of the requirements for having an INEC that is good, that can deliver free and fair election, is the integrity of the people there, not just the chairman but the commissioners. And this is one of the sad things about it. I was a federal permanent secretary when Malam Umaru Eradua decided to set up a committee under the late Justice Uwais.
Yes.
And he said, I want to set up a committee to reform the electoral process. And he asked me, because I was in INEC, then I was a federal permanent secretary. We set up a committee of about, I think, 34 people, excellent Nigerians from all over. They worked very, very hard. They made a huge number of excellent recommendations. As we speak, less than 20% of those recommendations have been implemented. But one of the things they recommended was to remove the power to appoint chairman of INEC from the president and give it to the judiciary. Let the judges choose which one. Let them do a short list. Nigerians can apply. Choose the best Nigerian with integrity and with the fear of God. Let him head INEC. We don't allow governors to nominate commissioners of INEC. Allow the same process at the state level.
Yes.
You need to separate INEC from the influence of the executive arm of government. And this is very, very important. If you don't trust the judges, then allow National Assembly, for one reason or the other, but don't allow elective people occupying elective positions, decide who should be the umbrella. Unfortunately, that recommendation has never seen the light of day. So one way you can improve the quality and integrity of the electoral process is to stop politicians from appointing commissioners, not chairman, national commissioners and resident electoral commissioners from that. Unless you do that, you always have a problem with the integrity of people. I can't say anything beyond that because I don't have the evidence that where the gentleman...
Thank you so much. What you have already said is already great. So anybody that is listening should know that you brought something beautiful. Let's take this one. Hello. Tell us where you're calling from and your name, please. Good afternoon. What did you say is your name, please? Okay, go ahead.
Can it be louder or increase the volume there?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead and take up your volume.
Hello?
Yes.
Is it Capital Television?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm Charles. I'm calling from Kano.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Charles. Charles, I'm calling from Kano.
Okay, Charles. Yes, go ahead. Tell us.
Yeah. Please, my question is that what is making it difficult for Wike to be expelled from PDP?
Okay. Why is it difficult? What is making it difficult for him to be expelled from PDP?
Why I think not wanting to step down for other people. He has tried. If it's not the will of God for him to be, let him give other people chance. I don't want that. Because he is the same problem we have with PDP. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 2 questions, but then those 2 questions, I think they are rhetorical, because I don't even know how to say it. Why is the vice president still, former vice president still vying? He should have resigned. He should have relaxed and allowed some other people to do it, since if it's not God's will. But you will not be able to say if it's God's will or not. I remember that someone in America went for a position, for not just one position, for so many years.
Abraham Lincoln.
No, not even Lincoln.
He contested 3 times,
Yes,
lost, and won the 4th time.
Yes, but then apart from him, John F. Kennedy, was there, contested from state to federal and to the presidency. In all, it was 11 times that he struggled, and it was in the 12th one that he got to become the president. We'll be looking at such a thing. Maybe those are the ones that the vice president former has been looking at and saying, well, since it worked for them, it most likely going to work for me.
But age is not on his side. Even Nigerians are going to follow all this credibility my brother is saying.
Yes, the age is really far away from him now. That's one thing.
The American people started all these things earlier in life.
Yes. Well, then the other question he was asking is why are the party members leaving Wike to remain there to spoil things for them, according to him? Well, it is a question that you've heard us talk about some of those things, so I don't know. Let's just take another question. They will return another either suggestion or a question. Yes. Where are you calling from, please, and tell us your name? Hello. Hello. Well, sorry, this is not the person you are thinking of. Let's go on. We expect to hear from some other people. But while we are doing that, I want to say that the coalition that we're talking about, are we sure that it's over now? Are you sure there's another group? There's not another group somewhere trying to also organize itself to bring up its head, and we'll start seeing, because I mean 2 years to the election is still is not so close. Anything can still happen, and Peter Obi has said that if he's not given that position, he may leave because he's here for just the president. You see? By the time he leaves, what if some other people will also call him up? Let's start another one.
Does he need to say it? What don't we know him? Does Peter Obi need to tell us that if they don't give him his interest, he will leave the party? We know him, and
incidentally, it's not only him. What about the former VP still asking for the same?
Yes.
And if he doesn't get it, I don't see him staying, except they decide to listen to what the elder statesman has said.
So he's counseling them on.
Because if not, I don't even see. Well, we'll be keeping our fingers crossed and expecting to see what this coalition will do. But whatever it is, if they truly want to be the formidable force, formidable opposition force against APC, that really matters, means business of trying to wrestle power out of the hands of APC, they need to think beyond all these things.
Yeah, if
they need to think beyond all these things. Doctor, what do you think?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, please. Let's just hear this. Hello?
Okay.
Good afternoon. You're calling from
River State.
Cross River State. Yes, tell us your name.
My name is John.
John, yes, John. Yes, go ahead. Tell us what you want to say.
I don't care about those 5 men. I believe the 5 men. I don't see those 5 or 1 as from the president candidate.
Yes.
The person who I like from that place Peter.
Peter, who you like?
Yes, for the next 2027.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
that's okay, John.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
John from Cross River has told us that the person who he like, the person he likes amongst them is Peter Obi. Well, just pray that your person will come up eventually.
I'll say something about that when he's done.
Yes, please, let's hear you, sir.
You were talking about
Getting to...
See, I have written, I write, and I have always said this.
Yes.
With 2 years to go,
Yeah.
or 1.5 years to go,
Yes.
why are we behaving as if the elections are in the next
month?
I'll tell you what happened. I think the people who made the biggest mistake was APC. All this business of endorsing, we endorse the president, we endorse the governor, nobody should contest everybody. This business of endorsing has triggered a huge amount of activity that has no place. You have 2 years to go. You have a very bad record. You have 1.5 years to go to amend, to correct this. Improve security so that people stop being killed every single day in their homes, in their villages, on their farms, everywhere. Improve the economy so that people can eat. Improve infrastructure so that people can move around. You are the people in government. What's your business with the opposition blowing the whistle? They blow the whistle and you start running. They bleed for themselves.
Yeah.
They realize how much damage you're doing to them. And they said, alone, PDP cannot survive. Why don't all these aggrieved politicians outside APC come together? And let's do something.
Please,
and then the APC panics.
Sorry to disturb your line of thought.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Go ahead, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Alaj, calling from Kogi State.
Alaj is not a name.
Yeah.
Alaj is not a name. What's your name?
Yeah. My name is Alaj Ali.
Alaj Ali. Go ahead.
From Kogi State.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I've been listening to your debating over 2027.
Yes.
You are doing a nice job.
Thank you.
If those people are they ready to save Nigeria out of this mess? That is our first question, because the face we are seeing is the same face that lead us to this where we are today. Now, if you are good and you are ready to go, there's no need of fighting. When your government is good, masses will fight for you. Mr. President is still having 2 years ahead, or 1.5, getting to 2 years ahead. I don't know why is he out for campaigning all this and that. When we have a lot of things to do on ground. Insecurity has taken over, hunger is taking over. He's not even talk of all these things, and he's talking of 2027. You know, so when they are coming out to talk about these things, we don't even know where we are heading to, because the good leader deserve good things, but what we are seeing is not a good leader to us. You know, so if you do good, we vote for him, but for what we are saying, we cannot vote for him. You know? So may God help us and deliver us out of this mess and select good leadership to this country.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. As though he just took the words out of your mouth.
Yeah, I think we are panicking. A ruling party panicked. They had no business engaging in electoral politics at this stage with 1.5 years to go. You have a huge amount of work ahead of you. Let the opposition do what it wants, but they don't have thinkers. And it's a party, I think, that is severely deficient in terms of people who will strategize for it, people who will advise it. It lacks that. All this going around saying, well, let's endorse ourselves, let's endorse the president, let's endorse all these people are coming in because they also want to contest on your platform. What are you going to do when you start primaries? For every seat, there are 6 or 7 people contesting.
Yes.
You're going to implode.
There is somebody that decided to call in at a time like this.
Hello.
Yes, Ezekiel from Lokoja.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. I guess I have to.
Hello, this is Ezekiel from Lokoja.
Yes, go ahead, talk.
Thank you. The program is well educated.
Thank you.
And what I'm saying is that, please, I know Atiku has a lot of Nigeria to revamp it. But I am appealing to him to choose a VP vice president to Peter Obi. Whether his son or he himself, I know he himself cannot be, he will not agree. He should choose somebody capable who can represent him as vice president, so that Peter Obi should be president for their opposition party coming 2027. Then you will see that even this news wicked who bastardize their activity, who the council that can this coalition party. And you see what they will do to this mess of President APC. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Caller from Kogi wants the vice president to bring someone that is a younger person that will be VP to Peter Obi. Okay, so he is kind of getting back to what you started with, that there is need for the younger people to come in. Okay, and he is seeing the APC as a problem. Well, that's it. We'll do some more talking before we take any more calls, and well, we just have some time for that, and before we start rounding up.
I was about to answer that question from that man that called from, is it Sokoto or so? That our last caller before this. He asked whether P2B. My answer to that question is, do you know that if you are talking about party politics in this new coalition now, P2B may not win as a flag bearer, given antecedent. Labour, he was able to emerge there because of the urgent need of Nigeria and the caliber of contestants in Labour. But now, we are talking about people like Atiku, who has interest, how many years, far before P2B even became governor of Anambra State. And you have the likes of Amechi fighting for flag bearership and a couple of others there. So the party politics that these ones play, P2B cannot near it. So unless by God's intervention that he can become flag bearer, but if he becomes flag bearer of this coalition party, guess what? Nigerians as a whole, like what happened previously, it will repeat itself. It's just that will this present tyrannism in Aso Rock allow free and fair election?
That's another question for another day. And also what I want us to look at as we are rounding up is that this matter of someone coming in as a presidential candidate and running under the new but old party that is there now, and then getting someone from the south because the problem now is, would they need, the problem the PDP had was that they brought someone from the north as at the point in time that they needed to bring someone from the south.
Yes.
If not for that, I think PDP would have been the party in power today.
Is there a lot of money? They bought everything with money.
And right now, that matter has not been concluded.
Yes.
Please, sir, what do you think should happen? Because if they make that mistake again, then it may still be the same old story.
What mistake? the next candidate must
Yes.
come from the south.
Uh-huh.
So that Tinubu comes from the south,
Yes.
the opposition's candidate comes from the south, and
would have
so
been a
it will be
good
south-south.
Yes.
It would have been a good one.
If the only reason I will tell you I will agree to that kind of thing is that the candidates the opposition will bring will be infinitely better than Tinubu.
Okay.
Not because he's from the south.
Okay.
The way Nigeria is now, I think we need to move beyond this business.
Not south.
Yes, because it's very damaging. It's damaging.
It's damaging already.
It's damaging this country. What I don't care. I'm a northerner, and I fought very, very hard when people like Wike, all the northern governors, southern governors used to coalesce, remove all their partisan dress alike, gather together and say to the north. This is before the 2023 election.
Yes.
North, listen, you are not to field anybody at all under any party because this is the turn of the south.
Okay.
And I was then the spokesman at the Northern Elders Forum, and we used to say, who the hell told you this?
Yes.
Go back in the constitution and tell us that
Where
elections,
is it?
yes,
There.
where is it in the
It's
constitution
not there.
that says allow Nigerians to choose? If some parties want to field the northerner, let them field the northerner. If some parties want to field the southerner, let them. Let the people choose. As it turned out, Tinubu got more votes in the north
Than in the south.
than in the south. Atiku did well. Obi did a lot better in the north than he did anywhere else.
Yes.
So this nonsense that people say, if you ever put in northerner, you will not win. If it is the turn of this, the turn of who?
Regional tradition.
This country is looking
religious,
for good leaders.
for
For goodness
fanaticism.
sake, we are looking for people who will fix this
Capacity.
country. Everywhere, Christians are dying the same way that Muslims are dying. Christians are suffering the same way Muslims are suffering.
It's the same country.
My child can't get a job because he's a Muslim. Your child can't get a job because he's a Christian. Tell me how your faith becomes a factor here. Yet the politicians have succeeded in
the ones doing that. Yes.
that if he's not from this part of, don't even come here. If this coalition says we're going to field a southerner, and we will go to the north and tell them, this man we believe in, or any of the parties, we believe in him. He will fix insecurity, he will fix poverty, he will give our children hope, he will rebuild Nigeria, and we will be great. I'm telling you, Nigerians, Northerners, I know where I come from. Look, Northerners voted for Abiola against Ofa.
Of course, yes.
In 1993.
I remember that.
Northerners voted Jonathan against Atiku.
Okay.
Northerners voted there were about 3 or 4 different times.
Okay.
Northern votes. And Tinubu. And Tinubu.
Yes, Obasanjo against.
And Obasanjo twice.
Yes.
So it's not as if Northerners cannot vote for a Southerner. Southerners have also voted for Northerners.
Of course,
Now,
yes.
where do we get this antiquated, very dangerous thing?
It's so dangerous.
And is now entering into people's mind is the turn of the
Of the
south.
north. The
Okay,
turn
if
of
it's the
the-
turn of the north, please go and bring us the best candidate from the south. Not just that his only qualification is that he has money and he comes from the south. If it's, you say to me, they vote a northerner because I'm a northerner, I will say to you, prove to me he's better than that other
That
one from
other
the
one
south.
from the south.
Prove to me. Show me his credentials. I want to know that I will be safer when he's president than if Buhari is a northerner. Look how he left Nigeria and the north.
So sad.
So for us in the north, when we hear this kind of talk, like, is this turn of this, go with your tongue. See what happened to the north. 8 years of Buhari's time. Look at what happened to them. Who is going to fix the east, for goodness sake?
I wonder.
The southeast is drifting away and away. They have literally abandoned the southeast. What is going to happen to the southeast?
I'm happy
Whenever
you are.
people are just talking, hey, south. As if the southeast is not part of this
I
country.
wonder. Southeast
What
is
about
still part
the
of the
serious
country.
problems in the southeast? The insecurity, the lawlessness, the collapse of the economy. Is the northerner going there to fix it? Or is somebody from the southwest going to fix it? Or is it somebody from the southeast who has enough clout, enough muscle to say to the people in the southeast, we are in Nigeria and the law operates here too.
Yes. So it must be
90%
followed, it
of
must be
what
obeyed.
Easterners own in this country It's outside the southeast.
Yes, he's in
I'm
the
happy
north.
you're saying this.
It's damaging the southeast.
Yes.
The other one will say it's hate speech.
Yes.
But I'm happy. That's why I keep
No,
saying
I don't
this.
look.
They call it hate speech.
People don't understand
Just make things
how much damage this kind of politics is doing to the southeast. Yet the rest of the country say, no, if he's a southerner, if he's a southeasterner, unless he denounces IPOP, unless he's we will not trust. Look at the damage it is doing. There are excellent people from the southeast, but the southeast is damaging itself.
And nice.
You know, it's damaging itself.
Yes.
How can it be? I will be your friend. You're Igbo, I'm Hausa Fulani. I can be your friend. But when it comes to politics, we are fighting.
No, they
What kind of thing is this?
We must stop it.
You know, it's damaging everybody.
Our audience.
5 states, and you cannot find
Don't
one
believe us
good
at all.
Nigerian that people will believe just because he's Igbo, he is disqualified, or because somebody comes from Kano. The whole South say, no, he's from Kano, we don't trust him. Have you even looked at him? Do you know why he's even putting himself forward? Do you know his qualities?
Exactly.
This is a damage. And this is why we're saying to these coalition people, think outside the box.
The box.
Go and find the kind of person where if you put 10 Nigerians in one room, they will say this one. Not because of his faith, not because of his where he comes from, but because we believe this one, it looks like this one is not going to steal our money. This one is not going to allow Boko Haram to be putting bombs. This one is going to fix the problem of insecurity in the southeast.
Hunger.
That's the kind of thing we are looking for. Not this business of tongue by tongue. This tongue by tongue is killing Nigeria.
And it's not even the constitution.
People will say, Northerners say this because they want to govern forever. And Northerners have voted Southerners before.
Yes,
and we're willing to do that. Bring us quality and we will vote for it.
Yes. Oh, well, dear viewer, you have seen it. I want to apologize to so many people who have been calling lately, but we are done with the calls now, so that we had to let it be so that Doctor would have been able to say what he did say, because if he didn't do that, we wouldn't have been able to hear him. And of course, I said it earlier, that is a special guest on the program this day, because you don't get to have him every day or every time. So it's good that we've had him talk much more than just hearing talks from you calling, because he has spoken your mind. That's the truth. And that's how we'll also start thinking of how to pack up what we have on the program today. It's been the Polity, and of course it's been sharing towards 2027 coalition matters, or whatever it is, as it gathers momentum. That is the truth, that this is happening at a time like this in our country. But one beautiful thing about it all again is that these things, we hope or we believe, will be what will bring us a better tomorrow. That is the hope. I want to say special thanks to you, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, for coming here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, remember I said he had been one-time secretary of the INEC, and of course one-time social advisor. Just not quite long ago, he just resigned a few months ago. Is it up to a month even?
It's about 2 months now.
About 2 months now that he resigned from that position of a special advisor to the president and the vice presidency, and also not forgetting the one I asked, which I didn't really talk about, is the Northern Elders Forum. So you're still there, of course. It's a permanent thing, is it not?
I'm a member of the Northern Elders Forum.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's been great having you, and
thank you.
We hope we'll be able to get you to come around again some other time.
Sure.
Thanks a lot, sir. And I have also had Sam Praise Itomo. Sam Praise is a public affairs analyst. As I said, he speaks on it about matters concerning us all, both from the physical and the spiritual aspect. And of course, he's an entrepreneur and a well-known one for that matter. Thank you so much, Sam Praise, for being here and sharing with us.
Thank you.
Of course, you know that I have also referred to you as the human interest advocate, because all the things that have to do with how best it will interest the humans, that's what you want to advocate. Thank you, sir. Please keep doing it.
It's my pleasure.
A pleasure. It's a good thing having you. I have not worked alone. I've had people with me on this, working together, talking about Bright Chukwebue, Timothy Obonna, Ihanyi Ugoji, Blissful Capacity, Victor Adeyeye, Victor Chizea, Felix Akinjabola, and not forgetting the head of station who helped us link up with our guest today, talking about Ruben Okala. It's a pleasure sharing the moments with you. This is Okechukwu Onugbogu. I always want to say it. May the best happen to us all the time.